In this video, I'm going to share the story of my first ever DMT breakthrough experience and how a 15-minute psychedelic trip changed my entire life forever. This experience happened around 10 years ago, and I have never seen life the same way since. DMT legitimately changed my perspective on the nature of reality, the nature of consciousness, life and death, afterlife, soul, spirit, other forms of intelligent life. All of these deep questions were suddenly recast from a whole different perspective. It is so difficult to put any of this into words. I mean, I've tried to film this video so many times, but I think it's important to try. I think it's important to have this discussion because to me, this is about so much more than just some psychedelic trip. DMT goes straight to the heart of some of life's biggest questions. This could be a tool for breakthrough discoveries. It expands our awareness. It helps us evolve. And we need an evolution of consciousness on planet Earth at this time. So that's why I'm sharing. Now, I do want to be clear that this isn't intended to glorify or promote DMT. There are real risks to using this substance. It's not something to play around with. Please explore safely. I recorded this video a couple weeks ago and just had to refilm the intro, so we're going to cut over now. So again, this was a little over 10 years ago, and just to set the stage, I was in a safe and comfortable environment. I had a friend there to offer support if I needed it, and finally, the moment had arrived. Finally, it was time for me to experience this, and I cannot even tell you how excited I was after a whole year of just preparing and researching. Finally, the time had come, and not only was I very excited, I was really nervous and anxious. My heart was just pounding in my chest. I've never been skydiving, but to me, it's how I imagine I would feel if I'm standing at the ledge of a plane about to jump and skydive. Like, really incredibly excited and also very nervous. So I had been meditating for quite a long time as part of sort of preparing for this experience. And so I really took some time to just kind of breathe deep, to ground myself, to feel centered, to slow down my heart rate, slow down my breathing. And finally it was time. I took the first puff of DMT vapor. And immediately, I felt it powerfully within a few seconds, a few heartbeats. It's like every branch of my nervous system was just lit up with this pulsating waves of energy, like the life force energy within me had just been cranked up all the way to maximum volume. I could just feel like this vibrating energy coursing through my body. I took a second hit, held it, exhaled, and immediately all the visuals started rushing in. Reality started to seem more kind of ephemeral. Everything took on this shimmer, almost as if it was cartoonish or animated. Things started to seem less solid and less dense, and everything was kind of moving and waving. And then I took the third hit, held it, exhaled, then I closed my eyes and laid back. And what happened next, again, it's hard to talk about. It's impossible to do it justice. And that's a big part of the reason why I've never shared more personally about my own DMT experiences, because it feels like I can't ever capture this in language. It almost feels silly to talk about in some ways, but again, I think it's important to share. And as far out there as some of these topics are, to normalize this, that this is part of the human condition. This is part of our reality. And, you know, learning about the fact that DMT naturally occurs in the human body, that this molecule is found all throughout the natural world in thousands of different plant and animal species. I mean, there's something incredibly significant about this molecule, and incredibly mysterious, of course. So I exhaled that third breath, laid back, closed my eyes, and behind my closed eyelids, instead of the sort of usual darkness, there was this explosion, like this supernova of light and color. And there was this powerful sensation of movement. It was almost like I was falling into myself and simultaneously, paradoxically, being launched out of my body, as if the very last layer of my humanity just melted away. Jonas was not part of this experience, and yet it felt like I was more me and more myself than ever before, and I was racing. I was launched through this, like this, carried by this kind of wave of energy, like this vibration. There was this tone, this pitch that was just increasing in intensity and volume, like increasing to this sense of like a crescendo. Like all of a sudden, it was like I popped out the other side. A lot of people call this a DMT breakthrough experience, where it feels like we're breaking through the sort of limitations of our ordinary physical senses, of this ordinary physical reality, and emerging in some sort of another place. Like I broke through, and all of a sudden, there I was, in this other space. I'll say again, words just completely fail. In this other space, the best way I can describe it is as though it was this giant vaulted space, the size of a galaxy, this world of light and color. And the thing is that it wasn't just like random chaos and random patterns or colors. No, there was structure, there was order, there was like an infinite, intricate order to this whole space, and it was just like saturated in meaning and significance. And what I'll say as well is that there was this unmistakable sense of, as far kind of out there as this experience was and as unfamiliar as it was to my everyday human experience, there was this sense of familiarity, almost like a welcome home kind of feeling, that had such a powerful impact emotionally. Very bizarre how it was like there's something in me that knew this place. I have been there. I've been here before. And overwhelming sense of awe immediately. I mean, from the time I had taken the first puff, probably no more than 60 seconds had elapsed at this point. It all happens very rapidly and intensely in quite a profound way, and it almost overwhelmed my ability to kind of gain my bearings. But once I kind of settled into this experience and sort of gained my bearings, I might as well have been wearing VR goggles, because I'm looking around, and again, there's just this whole world of light and color around me, and there were beings there. It was like this web of life with all these points of light that were interconnected in these incredible ways. And the moment I kind of popped out the other side, these beings of all different sorts and varieties kind of like skittered over to me and were encountering me and like interacting with me. In a way, again, that was really bizarre and amazing. And what was truly incredible was the sense of expansiveness to my consciousness. It was like I was in this cosmic, sacred, divine cathedral of life, seeing the whole web of life in a radically expanded sense. But it's not like I was just seeing it. I was it. It was like I was all of it. And everything was kind of moving and interwoven, and it was like I was interwoven into all of it. I could feel myself here, there. I was everywhere, upside down, right side up, inside out, everywhere simultaneously. It's a very kind of paradoxical experience, right? And I mean, I was just kind of devouring this experience, and immediately, I mean, this was the most powerful, profound experience of my entire life that truly felt like an encounter with some sort of divine realm, with some sort of an afterlife realm or heavenly space. And it was almost as if from this place outside of time and space, I could see like the whole progression of my soul, that this human lifetime was just a chapter in this kind of never-ending interdimensional dance of life. And again, the emotional impact of this is so far beyond words. I mean, it felt like I hit the cosmic lottery jackpot 1,000,000 times over. It was ecstatic, and so expansive and so far beyond all of my human problems and pains and sufferings, you know? I really had the sense at that moment that this human lifetime is such a sacred gift. It's such a precious opportunity to have this experience of being a human, because it helps us evolve and grow in ways that are totally unimaginable. And it was like I was seeing this cosmic dance in a way that I could see this infinite divine intelligence of life, the way that life has just emerged and arisen, the way I've just popped out into being a human being. As I was kind of gaining my bearings in this space, I was also really kind of curious and looking inwardly. I mean, there's like these beings and creatures there, and I'm interacting, but then I was also kind of trying to look inwardly at who is the one that is looking. If I'm here, there, what is the I in this experience? And something truly astonishing happened at that point. As I tried to like turn my attention inwards in this experience, it was like this whole kind of cosmic vista folded in on itself into a point of light that then exploded into what I would call like the central sun of all of existence. And the only way I can describe this is like a drop of rain hitting the surface of the ocean and instantly becoming one with the entire infinite ocean. And again, this was just overwhelmingly beautiful and ecstatic, blissful. It was like a nirvana type experience of subjectively coming face to face with the Big Bang, with the infinite, uncreated source of all of life and the universe, and knowing, feeling so deeply, I am that. I'm not just Jonas. I'm not just a wave in the ocean. I'm the whole ocean as a wave. As a wave. And there's a quote, right, that enlightenment is when the wave remembers its oceanness. Beautiful. I love that idea. So there's a very distinct feeling of kind of that experience starting to fade away and kind of almost like withdrawing or pulling back out of this experience and kind of racing backwards, reversing through the whole experience, and then kind of landing back in my body. And this feeling of like this peculiar feeling of almost like this liquid light of consciousness coming in through the top of my head and flowing down, coursing through my whole body, down through my spine, down into my legs, all the way down to my feet. I could feel this. And when I came back into my body, I found myself laughing so hard that I was crying. I was fully somewhere else, outside of my body. And really, that experience is why this YouTube channel exists, because immediately after that experience, without even thinking about it, I walked straight over to my laptop, I opened it up, I opened the camera app, I pressed record, and I started talking. Because in my eyes, this is maybe the most important, deepest exploration that anyone could possibly ask and explore into the nature of self and consciousness and the nature of reality. And like this was a James Webb telescope into that question, gaining all these insights, and how is no one talking about this? So I just started talking, and that's what gave rise to this whole YouTube channel. And then there was this process of trying to make sense of this experience. So I had this experience of being outside of the body, of encountering these other realms, of encountering these beings, of encountering this infinite divine reality, of subjectively seeing past lives, future lives, in a way that all felt so real, so fundamentally true, completely unlike a hallucination or a dream. And of course the question lingered in my mind, is that all a hallucination? Is that all a dream? And that led me into exploring the scientific evidence for near-death experiences, for past life memories, for remote viewing, for parapsychology, for extrasensory perception, for mysticism, for shamanism, for psychedelic visionary states, which I've since shared on this channel. And you know, the day that we come to realize as a greater whole, as a collective, that there is this greater spiritual reality, to say the least, life on Earth will never be the same. And that will set the stage for a mass shift in consciousness, for a new paradigm of science, where we recognize that there are non-physical aspects to reality, and that transcendent realms and dimensions are very real, So, as always, I'm really curious to hear what you think in the comment section down below. Please share. Thanks for listening. And, you know, again, as far out there as some of this discussion is, I think it's crucial, it's urgent that we have these conversations, that we normalize this exploration of soul, spirit, life after death, and non-ordinary states of consciousness, because this can help us evolve and come together with more unity and more harmony and recognition of our oneness in the ocean of life. Thanks, guys.